Let's go. We are back on. We're already back. We're already back. See that? That wasn't too bad, was it? That wasn't too bad at all. Now I just got to post on our social media. Let me just post on our social media and let people know we're back. Had to restart the stream because the dumb, broken, automated YouTube live stream censor bot is still broken. Here's the new link. Okay, okay, we're good there. We're good there. Done. Done. Here we go. We're back. Hey, thanks for your patience, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Hang on a second here. Hang on. Let's behave in the chat room. Oops, sorry, I have to plug in my iPad. My iPad was getting low. All right, sorry. Jeff says GameStop is 53. Look at this. GameStop's at 52 after hours. After hours, GameStop is at 52. Hey, Paula Garlock is there. So good to see you. Paula Garlock. Good to see you, Paula. So we are just covering some news stories here. And I apologize that we had to restart on YouTube because their system is broken. Here we go. $52. Look at that. By the way, if you subscribe to Agenda Free TV or Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube, make sure, most people don't do this. You got to click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. Most people actually don't do this. There's a bell. You have to click the bell and choose all notifications. Make sure you do that on YouTube if you're subscribed there. Waltz in the Woods says, I think the ship has sailed on GameStop. Jay Johnson says, back to 25 soon. Oh, let me also do one other thing really quick. Really quick. Why is it doing that? Hang on. Okay, done. Done. Robinhood CEO will be interviewed tonight on YouTube. You should cover it. I don't think so, Low Roller Scratcher. I don't think I'm going to go live for that. But thanks for the heads up. All right, what else do we want to discuss? You can give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. Sorry, I'm also checking some other breaking news stuff too. Chris Stone says, hi, are there any reports of the new Australian-developed home COVID test kits going on to the U.S. market? 15 minutes via phone app. Wow, how good is this? Well, so Chris, I heard that some of those are going to be bought for the U.S. market, but it didn't seem like that big a number. I thought I read a story that like the U.S. government was buying like 8 million of them. That's not that many one-time tests. Yeah, look, a fast at-home corona test will be available to Americans this year. That's good. 8.5 million is not a lot. The U.S. population is 340 million. Also, I would think in theory people would want to take these repeatedly, right? The idea is that if people could have a fast at-home test that they could take frequently, then that would help prevent outbreaks, because then people could find out if they had it. And, because what can happen is you can have it and not know it, then give it to somebody else. But I don't know that 8.5 million is really going to make a big dent. For the past year, many experts have called for the development of cheap, rapid home tests as a way to catch and stop viral transmission. Because so much of the transmission occurs among people showing no symptoms, giving Americans an inexpensive way to test themselves regularly. Giving Americans an inexpensive way to test themselves regularly would be a breakthrough. But even as testing technology improved, the cost and availability of such tests lagged and remained prohibitive. Ellume's home test is the first over-the-counter rapid home test to be authorized by the FDA. The price is $30 per test. It's $30 per test. Slavit acknowledged the $30 per test price is still too high for it to be used ubiquitously by many people. That cost will come down only if we can get that to mass production and scale, he said. So I don't, maybe if it can get to the point where people have these things and they're cheap and there's a bunch of them around that everybody could have, that would be a big deal. Darth Tater says, I think that's ho-hum news and not big news. It's not going to be game-changing. Well, maybe if, you could, maybe the price will come down and there'll be a lot more of it. Yeah, that test is a single test. Yeah, it's $30 for a single test. Oh. Guys, stop mentioning, I got to start putting a filter on the chats for AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't waste your time sending me messages about AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not covering it. As I said before, 90% of cable news is spent on Democrats complaining about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Republicans complaining about AOC, and it's not important at all. It has very, very, very little importance in the large scheme of things, but it gets covered like it's the most important thing in the world. So if you want to watch that, go to one of the many, many, many other news outlets that I feel are wasting their time. Well, they're profit for profit, so maybe they think they're spending it profitably. But I think in terms of a newsworthiness, it's a giant waste of time and waste of people's attention. So you can find that somewhere else. But please don't message me about it, because I'm just going to ignore your message or delete it. Martin said the feds ordered it for the government, not the public. Really? It's a home test. This is a Fox News article. Where does it say that? Let's see. DoD awards $231 million to Ellume to increase domestic production capacity and deliver home tests. Home tests. Doesn't say government tests. I haven't seen that it's government tests. All right. Where are we at with GameStop? Oh, we got to talk about a couple other things. We talked about that. Talked about that. Richard Birkland says, I think the home testing is a good step forward. By the way, related to our earlier discussion, the Goddess Shop says, I love driving. I'll miss it when it's gone. Oh, I should have mentioned the WallStreetBets thing. By the way, so in case you're following it or you care, GameStop is now at 52.47 in after-hours trading. Sean says, how do you get your test verified if you take it home? That's a good question. How does the Ellume test work? So I wonder if there's a thing. Is the Ellume test something where it comes with it sends information? It somehow has to send the information back to the company. Let's see if we can find this. How the Ellume home test works. The Ellume home test. So it's wireless. So I guess you take it and then this thing sends the signal to the phone. The test includes a sterile nasal swab, a dropper, a processing fluid, and Bluetooth connected analyzer. So the analyzer sends the result to the phone. See? Doesn't even go to the company, it looks like. I don't know. I don't know if it does, but real-time reporting through secure HIPAA-compliant cloud connection. Time to result 15 minutes. Highly accurate, it says. That's how it works. Sean K says cash cow. Well, I'm guessing it costs something to make. That's the Ellume test. A fair question how it works. Let's talk about this. This is interesting. I saw this earlier today. So WallStreetBets is this discussion board. WallStreetBets, this discussion board, where a lot of the people who bought GameStop stock and a lot of the strategizing to make the stock go up was done in WallStreetBets forum. Taylor Lorenz says, big drama going down in WallStreetBets right now. Retired old mods have come out of inactivity and kicked the current mods out. Now that there's movie deals, media attention, everyone is rallying in the test subreddit that the active mods still control. The active mods claim that the old WallStreetBets mods came back from the dead and wanted to cash in. The active mods oversaw the community's recent growth and want it to remain the same. They don't want to monetize WallStreetBets by selling it or overrunning it with spam. WallStreetBets members say they've begged Reddit for help regaining the control from the old mods. Big WallStreetBets on this post on this morning reads, "You deserve to know that this place is being sold out on multiple levels by people at the top, and that everyone below them wants them gone and is heartbroken." Members have launched a petition to have Reddit developers transfer ownership of WallStreetBets to the active mods, not the old mods. WallStreetBets is currently being taken over by mods who've been inactive for years. Mods left us for years and came back when they smelled money. They've been creating private email addresses to funnel all press correspondence for their own gain, talking blank about all of the active mods and scrambling to get paid from some movie deal. So anyways, what is this? Is this the petition? This is from an archive. When was this posted? WallStreetBets will die soon unless the admins save us. We've been taken hostage by the top mods. They left for years and came back when they smelled money. I can't speak to all these allegations. This is from the WallStreetBets forum. I can't speak to these allegations, but it sounds like as a Taylor Lorenz reports, there's some drama going on at WallStreetBets. I don't know, how do they stand to make the money? Is there money to be made? Like, if there's a movie about WallStreetBets, you don't have to pay WallStreetBets people to do a movie about WallStreetBets. Now, maybe what's happening, maybe there'd be money to made. If somebody was going to make a movie about WallStreetBets, they might want to hire people who moderated WallStreetBets for like consultation, right? Or their stories, So that would be a way to make money. But yeah, I can make a movie about WallStreetBets forum and not pay the forum because it's like a news. It's just a movie about a news event. Now also maybe there's like book deals to be had or something. I don't know. So it's a little confusing to me where the money would come from. The princess says they will pay for interviews. Jeff says they are trying to sell merchandise, their own cryptocurrency courses, etc. All right, so that's interesting. So if somebody wants to sell WallStreetBets merch or a course, I assume you can't do that. Now, who owns the name WallStreetBets, though? I don't know. See, that's a good question. I don't know how that works. Does Reddit own the name WallStreetBets? If you create a forum on Reddit and it becomes popular, I assume somebody can't just start making WallStreetBets merch. But I don't know how copyright law works in that sense. It's a very good question. Thank you, the princess. The princess says, I see a Netflix original in our future. Hey, thank you to Princess for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Jeff says the guy who created it was ousted last year because he was selling courses at like $1,300 a course. They did not copyright the name. Reddit owns it. That's what Jeff says. Write to me with your comments at Lookner on Twitter. We're taking your comments on the air. Now, Bella Olive Juice says they want to use the content. If a movie or, like, say, wanted to use some of the content, like the posts, who owns that content? So it's a fair question. If I wanted to make a movie about Wall Street Bets and I wanted to lift some of the, I wanted to use the content, the posts, as some of the dialogue in the movie, I could see a world in which Reddit owns that content. I don't know who owns it. I wouldn't be surprised if Reddit owns it. It's a good question. I don't know that that's fair use. Maybe it depends on how much of it you use. Then you get into, like, are you allowed to just lift posts and use them as dialogue in your movie? I honestly don't know. It's a very good question. Bella Olive Juice says they should just create a new forum. Well, they did. I guess there was a competing forum created today, from what Taylor Lorenz said. Where is it here? I thought she said that there was a different one. This one, Wall Street Bets Test. This is a test subreddit here. This is a different one. Wall Street Bets Test, 80,000 members. Look, due to recent events, I have chosen to no longer moderate Wall Street Bets. I stand with these people and the other genuine mods that were kicked out because they refused to monetize the subreddit. Stonktopust also does not like them. Update, I just got removed as a moderator on Wall Street Bets. I'll be leaving too. I am one of the few remaining independent mods left on Wall Street Bets. This is the mod who removed this person. Stop the steal, free Wall Street Bets. So, a lot of drama at Wall Street Bets. Watch Z says, a true story movie called Diamond Hands is sure to come out, starring Thomas Middleditch. I think there is an agenda-free TV Reddit. I think one of our mods had created that way back. Okay. Let's talk about some other news. Hey, thanks to our mods, by the way. We got Sarah55 and Angel Shark and Sarah Joy modding there. Thank you. Mark Helton, thank you so much for modding there. Our Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch mods, Roxanne Betkey. And Bud Green, thank you. Our Twitch mods too, Idaho Star Tariag. Thanks. All right, there's some other stuff. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Myanmar. We should talk about that. We should talk about what's going on in Myanmar. Read some more comments from you guys too. Bassa Supernova says that the drama going on in Wall Street Bets right now is perfect content for the movie. Bella Olive Juice says Steve seems like a legit guy that wouldn't sell us out. I don't even know what that would involve. Selling you out. By the way, there's people posting at WallStreetBets saying they're still not selling, even though the stock has gone all the way down to in the 50s. So, for example, this person says from today, please read if you're feeling GameStop burnout. I'm stepping away, but I ain't effing selling. And then there's this post from WallStreetBets today. It says, to all the people begging, pleading, wishing that Musk or Cuban will inject millions in GameStop to bail out your bad position, grow up and grow a pair. If you invested more than you can afford or you are having a paper-handed heart attack, it's not some billionaire's responsibility to pay GameStop Jesus and bail you out. I'm playing with money I can lose, no different than a planned trip to the craps table, and you should be too. Diamond hands. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Oops. All right, got some other news I want to discuss, but I need to take about a 1-minute break. Give me 1 minute. I will leave the GameStop price up there for 1 minute, and I'll be right back, and we'll continue our live coverage. All right, we're back. We are back. I think. Hey, Ol Raj is there as well. Our viewer Robert Demented says, my family in Myanmar has to use a VPN to communicate now. So Myanmar is a country in Southeast Asia. And what is the population? About 50 million people. They had a military coup last week. And the military has taken over power. And they've actually started, looks like, disabling certain social media. It's also known as Burma. Myanmar population is 54 million. Southeast Asia, near Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam and also Bangladesh. There's Myanmar right there. So I, for example, saw NetBlocks posted about it, that the military was now interfering with the internet. When was this posted? This was posted this morning. Network data show Facebook products now blocked across the board by major internet operators in Myanmar. Findings indicate significant variation in implementation as military compels companies to comply with banning order following coup. Let's see what they're saying about this at NetBlocks. Internet disrupted in Myanmar amid apparent military uprising. Yes, the president is currently in custody. So is the chief executive, the leader. Network data from NetBlocks indicate the onset of widespread internet disruptions in Myanmar that started on Sunday, the 31st of January, amid reports of military uprising and the detention of political leaders, including the leader, if I pronounce this right, Aung San Suu Kyi. Aung San Suu Kyi, I think it is. The telecommunications disruptions began approximately 3 a.m. Monday morning. And then they have more updates here. Update February 3rd. Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and some WhatsApp servers have now been restricted in Myanmar on state-run internet provider MPT. Meanwhile, metrics indicate a more targeted restriction to Facebook is coming to place on Telenor. As of evening on Thursday, February 4th, technical data from the NetBlocks Internet Observatory confirmed Facebook is restricted on most major providers. So basically, the military ran Myanmar for decades, and there was this pro-democracy movement, and the military agreed to allow to not lead anymore, but they still had a lot of power. I believe it was 2015 when the military gave up power, but they still had a lot of power, and they didn't do very well. The party allied with the military didn't do very well in the recent election. And the day before the new parliament was going to sit, the military announced a coup, and they said they're taking over for a year. Nicole Wilson says it's a very unsettling situation. Oh, there's a new article about it in The Economist. I haven't even read this article yet. Attempts to dress up authoritarian regimes as democracies are always bound to fail. I want to read this article, but this is there was more of a summary article before in The Economist that I thought was helpful. So let me go back to that. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. I was trying to find you the old... Yeah. Aung San Suu Kyi is arrested as Myanmar's general seizes power. The country enters a dark new phase. When the army ended nearly 50 years of military rule in Myanmar in 2011, making way for a civilian government, many were suspicious about its willingness to relinquish power. It initially tried to exclude Ms. Suu Kyi, much the country's most prominent democracy activist, from government. When it did finally allow Ms. Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy to take power in 2016, it still retained great authority, but not apparently as much as it would have liked. Nicole Wilson says there is a lot of speculation as to what China's role is in this situation or how they will respond to it. Yes, Peppermint Snackle says the army had permanent seats within the Myanmar parliament. Just shows you how much power they had. They had veto power over any legislation. Let's see here. The army's motivations are murky. Many analysts had believed a coup was unlikely because the Constitution protects that's the army's interests so well. The commander appoints the man who is notionally his boss, the Minister of Defense, as well as the Ministers of the Interior and Border Control. That gives the military control over the police, intelligence services, and border guards, as well as the armed forces. A quarter of the seats in parliament are reserved for serving military officers. Because amendments to the Constitution require the support of 3/4 of the MPs, the Army can veto any changes it does not like. Okay, that's not legislation, that's amendments to the Constitution. So the Army still had a lot of power. Steel Kicking says UN calls for sanctions. I saw reports yesterday of a protest against it and people being arrested at a protest. Myanmar coup. Sorry. UN Security Council finds rare unity in criticizing Myanmar coup. The U.S., China, and other members of the UN Security Council called today for the immediate release of all those detained in Myanmar. From Bloomberg. In a rare show of unity, the 15-member body on Thursday called for the continued support of a democratic transition in Myanmar. They had just, again, begun their democratic transition recently. The military gave up power in 2011, even though it still had a lot of power. Let's see here. There are also charges like being used as an excuse to keep the leaders detained. Myanmar charges Suu Kyi giving legal basis to detain her. Myanmar authorities charged the country's deposed leader with possessing illegally imported walkie-talkies. I have read analysis that just says these are just, charges used as an excuse to keep these people in custody. The charge appeared to be an effort to lend a legal veneer to her detention, though the generals have previously kept her and others locked up for years. An independent analyst of Myanmar affairs said it's clear that the military were going to look for some legal cases against the leaders of the National League for Democracy, and especially Aung San Suu Kyi, to actually legitimize what they've tried to do. And that is really a power grab. The coup was a dramatic backslide for Myanmar, which had been making progress toward democracy, and highlighted the extent to which the generals have ultimately maintained control in the Southeast Asian country. In response to the coup, Suu Kyi's party has called for non-violent resistance, and residents in Yangon, Myanmar's largest city, honked car horns and banged on pots and pans in a noisy protest for a second consecutive night Wednesday. Supporters of the military have also staged demonstrations. Medical workers have also declared they won't work for the new military government in protest of the coup. This is from Associated Press. So I don't know where that's going. I don't know where the whole situation is going there. This was interesting. The Economist article I showed you before, this one here in The Economist, at the end they talk about what might happen. They say, in contrast to the years after the election in 1990, the Burmese, aka the people in Myanmar, have now experienced 5 years of democracy. They do not want to return to the dark days of the military junta. The doors just opened to a very different future, wrote a Burmese historian on Twitter. I have a sinking feeling that no one will really be able to control what comes next. Tony Nagy says Myanmar shut Facebook down, may not start again. Is the movie Beyond Rangoon about her? That's what Sembista says. It's a 1995 drama film about Laura Bowman, an American tourist who went to Burma in 1988, the year in which an uprising takes place. So it is about Burma. That's interesting. What rating did it get on? What rating does it get on Rotten Tomatoes? It doesn't have very good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I've never seen it. 39% on the tomato meter, 71% audience score. Sean says, didn't she win the Nobel or something for her democracy work? I'm not sure. Yes, she won the 1991 Nobel Peace Prize. Terry says, do we know the condition of the imprisoned government? No, I haven't heard anything about the condition of anybody else, but I don't know. I haven't really been on top of this story, so I don't have all the latest. I don't know the specifics about a lot of this stuff, the latest specifics. Still Kicking says she spent 15 years in detention, was given Nobel Peace Prize in 1991. Robert Demented says the movie The Lady is about her. No, The Lady. The Lady is a French-British biographical film starring Michelle Yeoh as Aung San Suu Kyi. How about that? I did not know. How is The Lady rated on Rotten Tomatoes? %36% on the tomatometer. Nicole Wilson says it's hard to get legit info out of Myanmar currently. Bud Green says time for some strong sanctions. I have too many things open on my desktop right now. Too much open. Long Meat Mate says this woman has been fighting since forever. Lupus Might Hurt says if it's anything like the old Burma, there's going to be a lot of mass murder. So I'll certainly let you know if I hear anything new about Myanmar. Reindeer says, why is Rotten Tomatoes your barometer for movies? It's not. If I was thinking of watching it, I would probably do more research. So like I'd go to Metacritic. The lady reviews. Metacritic. 43. Average score, the lady, 43. And user score 6.5. That's not good for Metacritic. Same movie. I wonder if they have Beyond Rangoon up here. No, nothing found for Beyond Rangoon. Too old a movie. Terry said, I have not heard much on the regular news about Myanmar. By the way, a couple of things. First of all, for those of you who might have discovered this channel, my main news channel is also on YouTube, but it's called, if you're watching on YouTube, my main news channel is actually called Agenda Free TV. So I do these news roundups and some other stuff on this channel, Agenda Free TV too. But my main, like if we're covering like a single story, I'm over at Agenda Free TV. So if you want to see like breaking news coverage, you can check out Agenda Free TV. That's on YouTube. On the other platforms, it's all on one channel. Also, I do have a channel where I do some non-news stuff. That's called Lookner. Who knows? I might do a stream later tonight on Lookner. That's there at YouTube. This one is only on YouTube. If you have comments, news tips, the place to write to me is on Twitter, at Lookner. By the way, going back to this, I got a question from a viewer. It's a good question. I don't have the best answer. Quentin says, when do the short sellers who are betting on companies like GameStop falling have to pay up when they start going up? I don't know. That's from WatchQZ and YouTube. We discussed this during our coverage. I don't know. I think it depends on on the conditions of your bet. Sometimes people, if you bet against the stock, you're hoping it goes down. If the price goes up, you might have to buy the stock. Why is that? Because when you bet against a stock, when you short sell a stock, you're basically borrowing it from somebody, and then you sell it immediately, and then you're hoping to, and eventually you have to give the stock back, and you're hoping to buy it back at a lower price. But if it goes up, when you give it back, you'll have to buy it back at a higher price, so you lose money. So I know sometimes, from what I've read, there's margin requirements where if you borrow the stock from somebody and the price starts going up, you have to like deposit money as collateral, because they want to make sure you can actually buy the stock. If you buy the stock from somebody and then the price goes way up, the person who loaned it to you might be concerned that you might never give it back to them. So there's like collateral requirements. If somebody loans you something like a bank, like a mortgage, you put up your house. And if you don't pay back the loan, they take your house. So I think this is something similar. If somebody loans you the stock so you can sell it, so you can bet against it, there's collateral requirements you might have to fill. Also, Also, I don't know if there's time limits on betting against the stock. Can you only bet against it for a certain amount of time, and then the person wants their stock back after a certain amount of time? Also, I believe there's interest, so the longer you hold the stock for, you have to pay the person who loaned it to you interest. Also, some people might just want to get out of their bet, and so there's different reasons why somebody might sell the stock if the price goes up, if they've bet against the stock. And I believe it's different in different cases. I don't know the exact. It's a great question about the details of when you would have to buy it and why you'd have to buy it if the stock goes up and you bet against it. But I don't have the details on that. It's a good question. That's not something I have the details on. What's this? Hold on a second here. Just Ducky and Sunny Night sent me something about this. Police call to serious incident at Cross House Hospital in UK. I don't really know the nature of the incidents. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So if I hear more about this, I'll let you know. Oh, there's Wash QZ. Yeah, Just Ducky sent me this. Cross House Hospital locked down after a stabbing. So, it comes amid local reports of a stabbing. So maybe a couple people got stabbed. I'm not sure. If I hear a lot of news on it, I'll let you know. That's from the Scottish Sun. Okay. The Russia stuff is really interesting, too. I don't know what's going to happen there. There's been a lot of protests against Navalny being imprisoned. But there's questions about how much will people protest and how much will Russia crack down on the protests. Here's an article from CNBC. Now that Navalny has been jailed, what comes next depends on the protest Putin in the West. The main opposition leader, Navalny. After the government apparently tried to assassinate him, now they've put him in prison for about 2.5 more years on what seems like just trumped up charges. Experts say what comes next will likely depend on the momentum of protests in support of Navalny, whether the West decides to punish Russia, and how the Kremlin responds to growing unrest in the country. Navalny, regarded as one of the most prominent critics of Putin, was handed a 3.5-year jail sentence on Tuesday. And I believe about roughly 2.5 of that is still left. 10 months will be deducted from his jail term. Protests have been seen across Russia over the last 2 weekends and again on Tuesday outside the court where his sentence was passed. Maybe there will be Western sanctions, more protests. Let's see. This analyst said, this Russia analyst said the key question is whether the current wave of protests unleashed by Navalny's arrest have reached a point where they are self-sustaining and will continue even as he and his team are removed from the field. Certainly, the decision to imprison him is likely to trigger at least a short-term uptick in street protests, accompanied by a corresponding increase in arrests and aggressive police brutality. Experts warn what's more worrying for Putin is that the protests seen so far also reflect general public dissatisfaction with Russia's ruling class, prevalent corruption and kleptocracy, and a decline in living standards. McDowell said a major point of worry for the Kremlin should be that the protests, while triggered by Navalny's arrest, are more the result of longer-term social and economic stagnation. The demonstrations are not driven so much by Navalny's political program as they are a general sense of being fed up with the status quo. Despite there being an ostensible lack of political alternatives to Putin, whom McDowell viewed as not in any imminent danger of overthrow, his political regime is based not so much on active support as it is on tolerance and acceptance, and it appears the Russian populace is fast approaching the limits. That sentiment was echoed by another analyst who says the root cause of the present political ferment in Russia is Vladimir Putin's long rule entering its terminal phase. I don't know why it's entering its terminal phase. Far from removing uncertainties, even at the cost of more acute short-term turbulence, this endgame is now likely to drag on with festering social tensions and polarization, he said. Canna says Putin will bring down the hammer. There have been a lot of arrests from these protests. So that's also something to keep an eye on. Kisei says, I have colleagues in Russia and they said people are quite afraid of protesting really heavily armored police presence. Sure. Then I'd also guess if you are labeled a protester, that might cause you long-term consequences in Russia. There's that to be concerned about as well. Durander says, I could not imagine living in such fear. No, Basa Subanova, I have not heard anything about Putin stepping down because of health reasons. Basa Supernova says, I hope this leads to political changes for Russia that is friendlier to the Europe and the United States. Nicole Wilson sent me this from Al Jazeera journalist Hanin Zhao, who said, Aung San Suu Kyi's party patron has been taken by the Myanmar military. A lot of people involved with the party that was ruling have been taken by the military. I saw this earlier today, too. Hanin Zhao said Myanmar president and family has been removed from his official residence and sent to somewhere else. Party Information Committee says further details are still unclear. Castro thinks the younger generations in Russia will not tolerate this corruption. So that's also something to keep an eye on as well. Tom Winter says, by the way, the FBI has arrested a Lebanon, Maine man and charged him with assault on a police officer at the Capitol after a body-worn camera allegedly captured him charging and swinging at officers. We were talking about this before, how like so many people took footage who were at that riot that I'm sure there's like tons of footage we haven't even seen. In addition to officers' footage and security cameras and stuff. Okay, well, look, I think I might have hit the big stories I wanted to talk about on this update. I think. Oh, here's a post about people protesting in Myanmar, by the way. Wallone says anti-military people expressing and protesting peacefully against military coup in Myanmar. Yi Tu says today Myanmar citizens show their solidarity against the military coup. I have to be careful with the music. Now, this says from Toronto, Ontario, but I'm guessing the person who posted it is from Toronto. It looks like this is supposed to be in Myanmar. Okay, yeah, I think I've basically hit the big stories I wanted to talk about. You know, if there's big news tonight, I will come back on the air. If there's big news tonight. And also, I may be doing, actually, sooner than that, I may be doing a stream on my personal channel, which is called Lookner. So, again, I have two other channels. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a second news channel called Agenda Free TV. That's the main channel. So if there's a big story, I usually go on there. So you can subscribe to that. And then also, I have a personal channel, but it's only on YouTube. That's called Look. What? So I may be doing a stream there in a little bit. So that's something you can keep an eye on as well. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for the live news roundup thing we sometimes do here at Agenda Free TV too. And hey, thanks to the people who donated. That is how I can do news coverage full-time, 7 days a week. It is your support. So I really appreciate the donations. Thank you. That includes the Facebook stars from Chris Catt. Thank you, and everybody who donated on YouTube. If you do want to support the channel with a donation, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Kay Gebhardt and everybody else who donated before. Thank you. Big thanks to our moderators. They are awesome. They are all volunteers. Sarah 55, Sarah Joy, Angel Shark, Mara Kelton. Thank you very much, moderators. Roxanne Betke, Bud Green, and our Twitch moderators. We had Idaho Star Tariag there. Thank you to the mods. Big thanks. If you're interested in being a moderator, you can ask the mods for more information. They can tell you how to get more information on that. That'd be awesome. Oh, in the Discord, we do have the best way to get notifications for my channels. The best way is to sign up for the free Discord notifications. You can find the link at the bottom of the YouTube video description. The video description on YouTube, there's the link right there, and the mods can post that link as well. But check out the Discord notifications. It's free because that's the best way to find out for my channels when I'm coming on the air. Ooh, I have to update this. I sometimes post something about it myself, and it was old. So I had to redo it. There we go. All right. And thanks to all of our viewers. Robert Demented in Periscope was watching. Still Kicking. Two Purple Shoes. Old Raj. Dominic, Salvatore, Dave NW, Brandy Phoenix. No Puppet for Me. Thanks for your kind words. No Puppet for Me. And all of our Periscope viewers, thank you. Only about a month and a half left of Periscope until it goes away. Hopefully Twitter provides an alternative. Bella Olive Juice says, Safari never lets me open Discord. Apocalypse No, Bella Olive Juice, thanks for watching. Shaggy, Guru Gahan, Boss of Supernova, Booze Brain, Egrapok, Guru Gahan, Sim. They were all watching on Twitch. Llama79, Twitch Tweaker, Durander. Thanks to and all of our other Twitch viewers. Thanks for watching there. Hey, thanks Facebook for watching. Twilla McCord. Julie Chen. Oh, Julie made a comment. She says the military just gets pissed they can't win elections, get full power from democracy. That's from Julie. Thank you for watching, Julie. Tommy Kingwatsiak, thanks for watching. Casey Wagner. Andy Thomas. William Stade, thank you for watching there. And all of our Facebook viewers. And our YouTube viewers, Starfire 3. Starfire 3, what storm? I don't know what storm you're talking about. I guess, is there a snowstorm coming up this weekend? I heard there might be. I didn't really check in on it, though. More snow possible for Northeast this weekend. But nothing like Winter Storm or Lena. That's what Weather Channel says. Steve Chapman, Kay Gebhardt, thanks for watching. Linda Birdbike, Wash QZ, Paula Garlock, so good to see you, Paula. Paula, I hope you're well in Niagara Falls. Detain, Brendan Brumond, Me So Hungry, Sean K. Oh, hey, thank you. Sean K made a donation. Oh, that's very kind of you. Sean K from our YouTube chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's Sean K. Sentinel, thanks for watching. Right Lane Gaming, Shadow Rider. Brandon Diener, who was in the Twitch chat before, I guess. Seize the day. Good seeing you. Seize the day. Canadian Sunset. Kimmy Rose Straybull. Rangers 82. Jack. Bobby Joe, I believe Jeff Zucker from CNN said he's going to leave at the end of the year, I think. All right, so I appreciate you watching. We may be doing a Lookner stream shortly. I got to see. And if there's big news, I'll be back tonight on Agenda Free TV. All right, it's time. It's time to wrap up our news update. Apocalypse says a polar vortex is coming. 11 Glowfly, thanks for watching. I don't know about the polar vortex. I thought it wasn't actually going to come as much as it was supposed to earlier. I know in the Florida forecast was supposed to originally be much colder for Monday or so. There will be a flash, blah, 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 extreme cold. Where is it? A flash freeze is on the way. The coldest air will start driving on Saturday south through the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Places like in central Wisconsin could see the temperatures plummet to minus 25 on Sunday morning. Okay. Flash freeze. The polar vortex is coming. A large area of low pressure located near the poles. During the winter months, it breaks down, sending cold air that has been bottled up. It can be responsible for extremely frigid temperatures and huge plumes of cold air. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on this. Charles Goki says, minus 20 a.m. here with the wind chill. Thank you, Charles, for your support. So I'll be keeping an eye on the whole cold stuff. But I think it was supposed to be worse originally. This was yesterday. Behind the Arctic blast that's about to plunge into the U.S. The northern U.S. from the Dakotas to Minneapolis, Chicago faces its coldest air of the season. Temperatures some 30 degrees below average will descend over the northern plains, Great Lakes, and Midwest by this weekend, bringing widespread sub-zero readings and wind chills down to minus 30 in spots. This is Washington Post. The core of the cold will shift east with time, but it may take until the second half of next week to arrive in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast and in a slightly tempered state. The leading edge of cold air will surge into the southeast on Thursday. You know, I was about to wrap it up, but let me really quick see. No, windy. Before we sign off, I will show you really quick. Before we sign off, temperature, windy, GFS model, the American model, temperature. According to windy, the temperature is, you know, these are current temperatures according to windy. Blah, 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 blah. But if we go forward, you can see the blue getting lower. Then it shifts. See the purple there? See that purple? That's the purple. The purple getting lower. That's Tuesday. That's Monday. That's Sunday. That's Saturday. So for a while, like this is Saturday. That's Saturday, Saturday 10 a.m. That's Saturday at 8 a.m. So as an example, this is Saturday at 8 a.m. You can see minus 11, minus 10, minus 9, minus 13, minus 20s here. That's for Saturday. And then it continues for a few days. Then these are single digits in the light blue. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Lizzie says, be safe if you're in that area. Martin says that doesn't include wind. True. All right, guys. It is now time to wrap up this stream, but I will certainly keep an eye on what's going on with the cold. All right, guys. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching here, our live news roundup, and we will have more coverage for you soon on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2. Until then, have a great day or great night wherever you are in the world. We'll see you soon.